Hi, this is Monday, October 5th, regular class, not advanced, so make sure you're watching the correct one. If not, you clicked the wrong video because we're covering different things in my regular and advanced classes, and it'll definitely get confusing. I have posted your B points and grades over here, once again, every Monday, posty. You're more than welcome to look after class if you want. They are yonder. Once again, for those of you who are at home, they are over there again. It's also on Skyward. That's just paper Skyward over there for those of you who want to see it. We're going to cover things here in just a moment to help you out. Other than that, that kid. One moment, chillins. I'm going to do a thing. And then that a thing, and then this a thing, and oh my goodness, so many things. It's exhausting. And then, Rarg, I said click. Rarg. There we go. For those of you who are watching this on the home version, we have already gone to the library. If you are a blue kid, you'll be going to the library on Thursday and Friday. And then if you're a red kid, if it's your other class periods, it'll be Tuesday. If you're a virtual kid, there's a virtual one you can go to, which has information on my Canvas page to try and help you out from there to get you all the way to that one. Then this is where you find the virtual kids information to try and help you out. And IXL, for those of you who don't want me to torture you more, there is an IXL coming up due Tuesday, which is tomorrow. So just to keep you in the loop on that one, Tuesday/tomorrow, unless you're watching this on tomorrow anyway. But anyway, B.2 is due tomorrow for those of you who have that one. If you turn it in after tomorrow, that is fine, but then it does charge you the point, and I hate to be kind of meaner to you. So just trying to help you out from there. If you're wanting to do it for extra credit or extra B points, you just have to put that in the message and send it to me when you're turning it in, so I know that is why you are doing it. For those of you who have to do it for work, you just submit it as normal, and then you should be good to go. But again, that is due tomorrow. I'll try to send out a remind tomorrow during NWEA, like, hey, if you're done with NWEA, turn in your IXL to make life better. Delaney! I have no idea. That's why we've done 12 of these so far this year, and there's directions online. You can't expect me to remember stuff like that. Goodness gracious, I get to be lazy also. Then, speaking of lazy children, let's talk about quiz. This quiz was tougher than my previous ones. This quiz is what all of my future quizzes are going to be like. You are now into how my quizzes work. This quiz, a lot of kids bombed it, but it was not a tough quiz. Not making fun of you, it's just, let me explain. As I go through to it today, my guess is every single question, you'll go, oh, I should have known that. Oh, I should have known that. This quiz comes down to 3 things. 1, did you read the story you were supposed to read? And for half of you, the answer is there was a story. And so that takes out half of you right there who had no idea there was a story to read. Question 2 is, are you lazy? Because a lot of you who are at home while I teach, you guys, second half of the week, you guys right now, it's easy to tune me out and go to happy place, and then all of a sudden you're confused when you get to quiz. When we take notes in here, that is not going to be on the quiz. My notes are for you to reference on the quiz. I'm not making you have to spit things back at me. During class, I teach you skills, and then on quiz, you use skills. I usually give a much more challenging quiz than people are used to, but you will adapt and you will be okay. So it's this, did you read it? Every quiz moving forward, there is a story or poem or thing you're going to have to read on your own. You have to be able to read on your own, because when you take NWEA or iLearn or any test that's out there, I can't be there reading it all to you. At some point, you have to use your own brain. So I'm trying to train you to use own brain, and we'll see what happens from there. And then, are you too lazy to look it up? And then the last one is, are you scared to think? And for many of you, again, the answer is yes. Thinking is like work. And for many of you, are like, what? Lazy is so much more fun. Yes, I would agree, but this is where it comes back to haunt you. So what I'm going to do is go through answers on quiz and give you all of the answers. The reason being, I am unlocking the quiz for a third attempt. If you bombed quiz, you can return it in and get all the way up to a C. You can get up to a 22 out of 30 on this quiz. And so I'm going to unlock it after school today, and then you are more than welcome to go through and resubmit it, writing down all of the correct answers, and then you can improve your grade. Do we have to? No. You are welcome to embrace Team Dum Dum. I cannot force you to improve your grade. I'm just trying to help you do better at it. Those of you at home, you're going to get a chance to yell at me. So hang on a second. I will unmute everybody. All participants unmute themselves. Yes. So shortly, kids at home, you're going to get a chance to yell at me as we go through and do reviewy things. So for those of you who want to play my game of interacting, you're going to get a chance to play the game of interacting. For those of you who are here, you don't have to unmute yourself because you're here live and in version. Kasopa, you can take off. You just have to make sure you go back and watch video because we're going to be recording end of class. We're going to be introducing a whole new thing which shows up on Wednesday and Thursday and stuff like that. Jeriel. No, but it's going to be on my YouTube channel. It's kind of a silly question. I don't know. That's why we don't mock children. So by the way, this is story you had to read. The one that I kept sending you links to that you guys just ignored me and went blah, 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 whatever, old man. This is where on the quiz, the story you had to read. The one that was about, let's back up to you guys. Ooh, those of you at home, this is the part where you get to yell at me if you want to and you get to join in. So you might want to go ahead, if you don't have background sound, you can go ahead and unmute yourself. Ready? We have two main characters in story. Who are the two main characters?
Tommy and Margie.
And Tommy. Margie and Tommy, two main characters. What does Tommy find? A book. What is the book about?
School.
Real school or old-timey school. Oh, when is the story set? When is the year 2157?
In the future.
Thank you. In the future. So the year, I did not mean to make that one so challenging. So the month is May. We just don't care about the month of May. I mean, not to hate on you guys, it was just not that important part of the story. But the fact that it's taking place in the future is important, where apparently they no longer have books and books are a thing of the past. Margie's teacher is not a human. What is Margie's teacher? And this is where robot computery person comes in. That is the whole point of the story. As you go through it, you have two kids, they fight, taking place in the future. She finds out that there's these things called human teachers, and instead she has a computer teacher, and it's all about her saying, man, kids must have had a blast back in the day when they had actually humans teaching them. I've got like a computer teaching me, and it's boring. So that was the whole point of the story. To read it on your own and be able to answer from there. If you did not read story, quiz was probably a real challenge for you because the first 9 questions came from story, and all you could do is go blinky, 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 which definitely made it tough. All right. Let's find out. Again, kids at home, you're going to have opportunities to yell at me as we go through. Plus, there's a few questions which only the kids at home can answer, and I'm going to let you guys like come at me in chat, but we're not quite there yet, so hang on. Oh, this is the first one. External conflict. Oh. In the story, external conflict, I tried to make it fairly easy. They all had verses in there. For those of you who play Among Us, that was my theme for this particular quiz. The last one was about the pigs. This one was about Among Us. Again, each time we do some kind of quizzy thing, I'm going to have a different theme that's going to entertain me. I don't know, it's not next time yet. So as we go through on this one, who are our two main characters that are fighting each other? Margie's one. Who is Margie arguing with through the entire story?
Tommy.
So what is our major fight in the story? Margie and Tommy yelling at each other throughout the entire story. She does, but that's not the major fight to the very end. She doesn't fight the computer. She just goes, this is boring. And the computer goes, I'm a computer, and that's it. But her and Tommy yell and fight the entire time. That becomes major battle. That helps you out. By the way, for those of you writing answers down, you're welcome to, but realize, as Jeriel pointed out, it's going to be on YouTube. You can literally just play it if you want. I'm not stopping you. I'm just trying to save you some laziness. All right. Same thing for those of you at home, just trying to help you out. So that was the first one, Margie versus Tommy. Our best theme on this one, again, hopefully you looked at notes, and notes tell you, back up. What is the definition of theme? Way to tag in, Finley. Way to tag, nicely done, also Delaney. The main idea, moral, thing you're supposed to learn. So the theme is the moral and the thing you're supposed to learn. In this one, she talks about how exciting it must have been to be back when kids were around, because she hates the idea of a computer teacher. And she says, man, I wish I had a human teacher to make fun of me. Of those themes, only one of them connects to that idea of, man, I wish I had a human teacher to yell at me.
Yeah, and it's the third one.
It is not kid trying to yell at me. So it's about two. Ooh, by the way, it's about two kids finding an old book. That's not a theme. You guys know which of the 7 elements that is? Nicely done. That's plot. That was my way of seeing which kids were even paying attention and being lazy. That one's plot. This one's a fake answer. Machines make horrible teachers. That could be a theme, but doesn't really apply to this whole story. Reading is evil and will hurt you. That was just seeing which kids hate me, which basically comes down to enjoy the life you have. Because you guys would be apparently would be all excited to not have angry teacher yelling at you, because all you do is blink at me. Because I try to interact with you, and I'm like, hey, let's have a conversation, and you guys go, blink, blink, you can't make me learn dinosaur, man. And so it's the same thing, where she only deals with the computers, like, man, I wish I had a human to yell at me. So apparently, enjoy the life you have. Blaze, stop yelling at me. What's up, Blaze? I don't know. And let's go with not an on this one. Which one of these is not an important part of the plot? Here's why it's not an important part of the plot. One of these is a character description. So looking at, ooh, kids at home, here's where you get to play my game. You're going to use a finger. So on the screen, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Which one of those is a character description? Those of you who are here, which one of those is a character description? Oh, nicely done. Yeah, that's why it's not part of the plot. 2, Tommy is a young boy who can be a bit of a jerk. That's not plot. That's character description. That's why it's the least important, the not important part of the plot, because it's not part of the plot at all. That's why I was trying to help you on that one. Again, not hard. A lot of times I just required you guys to think. Which, not attacking you guys. In all honesty, you guys have gone through a lot of years of school where you've not been required to think. So there's every reason that you haven't had to up till now, which is why I'm trying to train you now. From this one, least important character in the story. Again, you just had to think your way through. Who are the 2 main characters? So you know it can't be them. Main character, main character. So now we have Tommy's mom and Margie's mom. Of those 2 moms, one is never in the story at all. Which one's never in the story? Yeah. Margie's mom's one that comes in and says it's time for school, and she goes like, okay, mom, and she comes in there. Tommy's, for all we know, Tommy was born of a slug. Like, his mom never shows up. So that's why she's not important. She does not exist. So 3 of those are characters. 1 of those does not exist. 5. All right. This is one we kind of already covered. You guys have human teacher, whether you like it or not, as I see all of you staring at me. Margie's is not human. What is Margie's teacher? So there you go. So basically, this was more of a, did you read and understand the story? If you read and understood the story, this was a fairly easy-ish question. Margie's teacher is not a human, it's a computer. It's that, I think pretty much straightforward. Again, yeah, looking at them, like most of the thing I just came from, did you read story on that one? I'm watching those of you at home. If you get confused, kids at home, you just fire it at me and let me know, and I'm more than happy. All right. 6. Ooh, all right. For those of you at home, we're leaving this to you guys. This is on chat. Fire at me in chat. This is a 1-word answer. When is the important part of this setting? Ooh, Lave tagged in. Those of you who are here live, let me give you a second too. And Owen's tagged in. And there are two different answers. I will accept either answer. Nicely done, Ethan tagging in with other one. For those of you who are here, when does our story take place? 2157. When is that? In the future. I took either one, 2157 or future. I took either answer. If you put May, that was not the correct answer. Yes, it does exist, but it is not the important part of the story. It's not like, oh my God, May, kids go to school in May. No, it's the fact that kids are going to school, 150 years into the future. That's the part that plays the bigger role. So that was just, can you figure out, it was, by the way, at the very beginning of the story, that's when it's telling you, it was like, May 17th, 2157, and it's her writing in her diary. Let's see the point, point of view of story. So on this one, kids at home, either one finger or three finger. Kids here, was our story being told by Margie or was it being told by narrator? Kids at home, I'm looking at you, and then kids, oh, hang on a second, you there, and then those kids, and then kids here, and should be third person because it is following Margie on this one. Now, is Margie in every scene? Yes. I agree. If she's in every scene, it is going to be third limited. Margie is in every single scene. And this one, by the way, it starts off telling you it's a page from her diary, telling you that it's like straight out of her diary, which is why she's in every scene. She's at the very beginning, she's at the end, she's in every single scene of the whole thing. This came down to one, knowing an internal conflict is going to be that major decision. And then, did you read stories? Is what this question comes down to. So which of these is most important to the story in there? Most of these did not happen in the story at all. Well, again, my fake one, you get into it. Take away the pencils. Does the mom ever give her pencils? No. Completely made up answer. Teacher, give homework or just sit there. The teacher is a computer. Does the computer make a decision? No. She knocked that one out. Then you have throw the book away or keep it for now, or read book or ignore it. So it came down to those two. Only one of them actually happened in the story. That would be Tommy never decides to get rid of the book at all. That's when Margie yells at him at some point. He's like, no, this book is awesome. Then Margie's like, I'm not going to read that book. No, I want to read it now. And so she makes the decision to read the book, even though she initially tried to ignore it. She decides that she wants to find out about these weird humans they used to teach inside schools. Like, what? You can't have a man be a teacher? That's crazy. And now that you guys are watching it happen, you probably agree with her. And then let's see. So connecting back to our claim with the whole, the claim and argument and reasons and evidence. If I give you the claim, kids may not want to have robots as their teachers. I gave you lines from story. This question, I agree, was probably the legit most difficult one in the entire quiz, because it required you to remember all the way back to claim and argument, and then also required you to have to think about things and understand story. All right, so those of you who are here and kids at home, you're going to vote with fingers. Which number do you think it is that connects to it? So we'll see how well you can remember. So show me fingery bits. Those of you who are here, you have, why would you use the Vince when you saw the, it's the big one. Our television screen has had 1 million books on it. All stories used to be printed on paper. How could a man be a teacher? That's impossible. Or kids must have loved it in the old days. Which one of those would connect to that claim? And kids at home, and should be. Kids must have loved it in the old days, because that goes back to kids may not want to have robots as their teachers. That's why you guys would love it pre-technology, when you just had a teacher talking to you and not having to worry about virtual schooling and stuff like that. The idea that, oh man, they must have been happy back in the day. So this one, this goes back to, do you pay attention when I talk out loud in class? Because, and again, as soon as I say that, I know 4 of you are, nope, not even a little bit. which definitely makes it a little bit challenging. Every time we do a character description, I kept telling you guys over and over again, make sure your character description cannot be used for any other character. One of these character descriptions can apply to more than one character. King discovers his daughter loves a scrubby boy. In that story, does anyone else have a daughter? Nope, I agree, so that one has to work. Genie, old, angry, magical being who sassed the king. Was the fisherman a magical being? Nope, so that one can't work. Princess discovers the secrets of the two-door system. Did anybody else break into a thing and discover the two doors? Nope, that one works too. Gardener's son, all of his actions are because he loves the girl. Did anyone else love the girl? Oh, the king also loves the girl, so all of a sudden that one does not work. Yes, it does describe him, but does not work because it could describe somebody else. Again, you thought about it. I have full faith in you guys knowing the answer. It's just a matter of, did you take time to think about the answers? 11. This one, I tried to give you an easy one straight from your notes. I figured after a while I could try to help you out. In your notes, you have, we'll go to the kids at home. All right, kids at home, ready for typey thing? What is it? Which of the 7 elements is when you have to make a decision? Remember, spelling counts. Let's go typey. Let's see if kids at home figure it out. And Lathe is on fire. I think he's won every time so far. Flex on the other kids. And nicely done. For those kids who are here, which one is it where you have to make a decision?
Internal conflict.
Nicely done. So that one was one of the easiest questions I could put on there. It should have come straight from your notes. Unless you're one of my kids who has not written anything down on your notes and your notes are completely blank, then yes, that would probably make it quite a bit more challenging for you. The archaic language. Your these, thous, and thys. On that one, the whole point of using a thee, thou, and thy is, we'll pick on Finley since you're here, Finley. The whole point of thee, thou, and thine, Finley, is what does it show you have over someone else? Power. That's the whole point of me introducing them. I talked for like 5 minutes and said that you should use them at home with your parents. I did that on purpose to try and get it to lodge into your brain. I was hoping if I could make you giggle about sassing your parents and the fact of you having power over them, that would sit in your brain and help you when it came time to this question. Here's how I was tricky to you though. A lot of you guys just looked at the word power and stopped. The thing is, you have 3 different ones that had the word power in there. It shows why the fisherman is poor and powerless. He is poor and powerless, but not because of the archaic language. That was just seeing which kids just picked powerless. It shows the genie is always the most powerful. Is the genie always the most powerful one in the story?
No.
Nope, that doesn't work. Can't be that one. Can't be that one. It shows that, does the fisherman gain power in the end?
Yes.
Look at that. Good luck on that one. So that's, again, I had faith in you. You just had to think about it. Jerry L.
But then, what's hard? Not because the fisherman is still poor.
Uh-huh.
Even at the end of the story, he's still poor and powerless.
Uh-huh.
He just has a genie.
Correct.
Like, he doesn't even have a genie to throw it out.
Well, I'm not disagreeing about that. I'm saying it has no connection to the question. Him being poor and powerless has no connection to the archaic language. And that's where a lot of kids are like, that is the absolute right answer. He is poor and powerless. It just doesn't answer the question.
Yeah, and then just like the genie is one of the most powerful beings.
Uh-huh.
So, since he has magic, would he be more powerful than the fisherman?
Yeah. But again, that doesn't connect to the question. Because the genie is not always the most powerful, because when he's trapped inside the container, he just can't do anything about it. And then the story of the fisherman. This one is, in the story of the fisherman, what 2 things are fighting each other? Fisherman and genie. What word do you have to use inside the internal conflict? On this one, you could have done fisherman versus genie versus fisherman, genie vs fisherman, fisherman vs like any of those I took. I still had kids get it wrong though. If you spelled fisherman wrong, you got it wrong. And I had kids who spelled fisherman wrong. They usually spelled it as fishermen, M-E-N, and they made them plural. Or I had kids who spelled genie wrong, and they just put G-E-N-I. If you don't look back at your answer to make sure you spell it right, you're going to miss it. And so I had kids who would miss it because of that. As far as what order it was in, did not matter. Versus or VS did not matter. You spell fisherman or genie wrong, that's on you, boo. At some point, you have to double check your answer. The themes from the fisherman, I literally stole this theme from one of the kids when you guys were offering them up. And I said, you guys have better themes than I do. I had a kid who had a better theme than I did. So as you went through there, no. By number wise, let's see which ones you guys think, which one of these themes best applies to everything in the story. So you can show me fingers. We all should accept different religions. If you treat others badly, then bad things will happen to you. Curiosity will always lead to your death. Fishing is a completely pointless activity. So hold up what finger you think it is. One. So Ellie's my only, oh, there's 2, 3 brave kids and other kids. There's, all right. Those of you who are here and, again, you guys seem to know it if you take time to think it through and stuff like that. Nicely done. If you treat others badly, as the genie did, bad things happen to you. Cheerio. And 5, at the very end of Lady and the Tiger, it switches points of view. The whole thing is written in third person omniscient. Last paragraph switches to, what do you think? You, the reader, what are your thoughts? And if it switches to you, it is no longer third omniscient. Ooh, showing, once again, using your fingers, which answer up there is it going to be? And should be, ooh, no, using your fingers, what point of view is it? That nicely wrong. I could, again, it came down to figuring it out from there. And that's it. I was not trying to be mean and not trying to give you guys super tough questions. I honestly think it just came down to one. Right now with virtual school, I think a lot of you guys have trouble concentrating. I don't knock you on that whatsoever. I know virtual learning is rough and it's easy to tune out. I know when you guys are at home, it is easy to tune out and stuff like that. I absolutely feel for you. My quizzes, almost every time, if you take time and you think and you don't be lazy, you'll do fine on my quizzes. If you bombed this quiz and you want to fix it, please do. You're more than welcome to. Resubmit it, email me, and you can get up to at least a C on it. If you're fine with yours, then I'm fine with that also. We can try to help you out. And we're going to kick this person out because they changed their name to Reconnecting. What you don't realize, though, is when you're reconnecting, it's not a stagnant screen. It actually sits there and spins. When you change your name to Reconnecting, it's easy to remove you. Yes? Uh-huh.
At first I got confused because it says, as I ask a question, without quotation marks.
Which is why I put first person from the point of view of the princess. I did not just put first person by itself, because if it just said first person, I would have accepted that as an answer. So that's why I specifically put first person from the princess, because I had that same thought on that one. I agree with you. Now, for those of you who are here, go to paper, this papery thing. We're not done learning. That was just me explaining a thing to you. We are now going to be writing a thing. Writing a thing? There we go. So look on here and then go all the way down to bottom of that front page where it says secondary elements. Bottom of that front page where it says secondary elements. That's what we're going to get to now. Bad news is you're going to do boring writing for a second. You're writing down 5 definitions. Good news is I'm going to help you with it. Here's boring part. Go ahead and inhale deeply for a second. Same thing for those of you at home. All right, I don't make you write a whole lot often, and here it is. I know, it's a lot, but it's not my choice to throw it at you. So I'm going to sort of babble through and explain things and give you a moment, and then we're going to move on. So for those of you who are writing it, now, I'll move out of your way while you're looking at it. A couple things to help you. You don't have to write it all word for exact word. You've now taken a quiz for me. At no point am I going to make you rewrite this word for word. The reason you're writing it down is so that when we get to it on a quiz, and I say, do you know what the resolution of the story is? Now you have to find it. You're going to go back to your notes to remind you what the resolution is. So all you have to do is write down enough of it where you have some idea of what it's talking about. Hopefully that helps you somewhat here. All right. So whenever we do a plot, could be, we'll keep going until it dies all the way. There are 5 parts every time we do plot. The first part is going to be exposition. Exposition is always the beginning of the story. And it's going to be the part where I charge the kid points for putting away his papers as opposed to writing a thing down. Why don't you do it on the bottom of the pink sheet? That's fine then. I won't be too easy. I take it back then. I was wrong. Exposition is always the very beginning of the story where we introduce characters. For my example story, our exposition is going to be there's a small boy with a scar on his head, and he lives under the stairs, and he has like a little wiggle stick that he can spin around and sparks come out the end of it, and he's going to go to a special school. That is our boring beginning stuff where we first get introduced to character and stuff like that. So boring beginning stuff. Then we're going to get to rising action. And rising action is where the things start to get a lot more interesting. All of a sudden, now boy with scar on head is going to be going, you're a wizard, Harry. And he gets to go to a special wiggle stick school, and he gets to figure out how to fling sparks at people. Then he finds out the Defense Against the Dark Arts person hates him and is going to try and kill him, and he gets all scared. Now things got more exciting. And then we're going to get to climax. And this is the moment of greatest intensity, where the story all of a sudden becomes like an OMG thing. And you're like, no, little scarred boy with the thing in his hand is going to die. Then you find out he fights back, and he flings his stick, and sparks come out of the end of it. And man with no nose screams and is like, no, and disappears. So all of a sudden, it's that moment, and you're like, yes, you can do it, Harry. That is your moment of excitement in the story. Then you get to falling action. And the falling action is the part where it begins to come to a draw to a close. Harry has now beaten the Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher. And we get to go next year, Harry. You get to come back and live with us again, and everything is going to be happy. You survived, and now we found out Voldemort was there the entire time because when he was a child, someone stole his nose when he was a baby, and he never got it back. And then you get to resolution, which is the very end of it, and that's where we get to find out that Harry gets to come back the next year, and now that we get to find out he's best friends with a redheaded kid and some girl, and things are happy, and everything in the whole story gets all tied up together. Those are the 5 parts we're going to be getting into. Exposition, rising action, climax, falling action, and then resolution. Then, to help you out, I'm going to give you really short definitions you're also going to want to have. For exposition, to make it even easier on you, exposition is going to be the boring beginning stuff. So, you fucking hand at me. So every time I refer to exposition, I'm going to call it boring beginning stuff. Rising action, whenever I refer to rising action, it is going to be the exciting stuff. So rising action, the stuff where it gets exciting. Climax, the major OMG moment. You're like, oh my God, they're all going to die. And you get all excited as we look into it. Falling action is where we explain your OMG moment. So the OMG explain. Last one, resolution. Well, at the beginning of the story, it's boring beginning stuff. Resolution is the same thing, but at the end, so at the very end, it's going to be boring ending stuff. No, it's not. But neither is the exposition. But normally anything we do that's not the rising action, kids complain about. Almost anytime we read a book, The only thing they care about is rising action, sometimes climax. Everything else that you're like, this is boring. Why are we reading this? I hate life. Grumble teenager. So that's why I just went ahead and worked boring in there to help you out. Then we're going to practice applying this to stories. But not today. That's enough learning for today. Your homework for me, I've already given it to you. I'm just reminding you, I'm not assigning new homework. Either the IXL B.2, which is due Tuesday night, or if you're wanting to redo the quiz, again, I've opened that up for you and you can redo the quiz. Just make sure you email me. That's it. I'm not assigning any new homework all this week. We have no quiz this week. We have no new homework this week.
Good afternoon, Chargers. There's one announcement. There is no 8th grade football match. Players should go home on the phone. No 8th grade football match.
All right. So I'm not giving you any new homework. Oh, Wednesday, the next time I see you guys, one, we're going to finish this, do some practice. The two, we're going to get to start a fun story. And I have a fairly fun-ish story that we're going to do with you guys on Wednesday. So I'm looking forward to that one. Then the rest of you, that's all I have. Those of you at home, we'll see you later. I'm done with you. I'll see you guys on Wednesday virtually. Those of you guys who are here, I'm going to leave the screen up behind me to help you.
Peace out, yo. Yo.
What's your favorite? Bye. Can do. Bye. Please, your presence has been requested with Oskay. She finds my antics amusing. Then you do. Head down to her room.